moving on to Sunday's portion of the card. 2 weeks ago, the Dallas Cowboys were the hottest ticket in town. There's future tickets on the Cowboys. Are they a dark horse Super Bowl candidate? And now it feels like the betting markets have abandoned the Cowboys in droves after their shutout loss at Indy. Is that true down at the Nugget for their matchup with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Certainly hasn't been for us. We had plenty of Cowboy money last week, and we've got plenty of Cowboy money coming in this week. So I don't know if it's just the rodeo being in town, but everyone seems to love the Cowboys.
The Bills and Patriots, New England now off a couple of losses. That losing streak figures to end here as they're big favorites against the Buffalo Bills. But it's been maybe a week with some distractions for the Patriots because of the Josh Gordon situation. Any impact on the betting market?
Nope, it's still all New England here. It'd be fun to wake up and say we don't need Buffalo today, but I don't see that happening anytime soon.
These two, I'm curious how the action's been between Atlanta and Carolina over the course of this season. Are you finding yourself rooting for these teams more than against them here in 2018? And now that they're meeting in this meaningless season finale, what are you seeing in terms of action right now for the Falcons and the Panthers?
It's been very even this week so far. We're getting actually pretty decent action on both sides of this one. I guess it just comes down to whether or not you're a believer in Taylor Heineke.
Not a lot of things going well for the Jaguars this season, but one guy who's had his usual fine performance is Calais Campbell. And he was pretty vocal in some comments yesterday saying that, hey, these games mean something. We've got guys that are playing for their jobs. Maybe an effort to fire up his team. They're getting more than a field goal from the Dolphins, but the line has been ticking down. So is that respected money coming in on the Jaguars?
It's not too much of anything for us, actually. We haven't taken a whole bunch of money on the game.
Yeah, I would imagine that would be a fairly lightly bet contest. The Giants and the Colts, it feels like Dallas was hot last week going into Indy. Coming out of that game, the Colts are the flavor of the week in the NFL. What are you seeing for Colts and Giants with now OBJ being ruled, out? Doubtful? What's he at?
He's out now.
Yeah.
But we've seen more money on the Colts come in, not too much more. And I'm surprised we're getting any money on the Giants at all just because of how bad they looked last week.
Boy, they sure did. So here's a game that to me is maybe the most interesting betting game on the card. It's an important game as well. The Texans taking on the Eagles. And it seems, Aaron, that every time, and there haven't been a whole lot of occasions we can say this year, but every time the Eagles have shown that glimmer of life, like a little bit of a flashback to 2017, the next week, the money just comes pouring in on the Eagles. And despite the fact that it's Nick Foles at quarterback, kind of looks like that's happening again as they play host to Houston.
Yeah, we've actually got some great two-way on this game. So we're going to be very interested to see where the money continues to come in. But we are getting a lot of bets on both sides here.
So is that going to be one of your most heavily bet games of the weekend?
Certainly looks that way.
I don't imagine the next one will be, but it might be. But I don't imagine there's a lot of money coming on the Detroit Lions right now off a pretty demoralizing loss at Baltimore where it was Matt Prater missing a field goal and an extra point.
At Buffalo.
At Buffalo, yeah. Thank you. Against Minnesota. What are you seeing? Anything but Vikings money coming in here?
It's been mostly Vikings, and you'd be correct. This is not in a very high bet game. But it's a Sunday football game, so they're going to be betting it, that's for sure.
And they'll be betting the Packers and Jets as well. And this line has wildly fluctuated during the course of the week, opening 3, going all the way to Pick'em, now going back to 3, and that all centers around the availability and now apparently okay to play Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, with anything where you get a superstar like that, it's going to be just all speculation on whether or not he plays. It's almost like the NBA in that regard.
So what are you seeing in terms of the Packers and the Jets downtown?
We're seeing a little more money on the Packers, and I do think Rodgers will play, so you're going to see your typical Packer backers coming on in.
Packer backers. Browns backers very happy these days. And Bengals backers, well, they cashed in last week, but I don't think there's any kind of betting bandwagon developing for Cincinnati right now. What do you got in the battle for Ohio?
Yeah, there's no bandwagon on Cincinnati, but there's definitely been one on the Browns. They've been one of our most popular teams lately, and we're getting all the Browns action we want, and this week is no exception.
Todd Gurley, I don't know if he plays or not for the Rams. If it's me, I'm sitting him out. You don't need him to beat the Cardinals. However, that could have an impact as far as the betting is concerned for this game. Might there be some sharp money possibly on the Cardinals if Gurley sits? It might be an indication the Rams are just going to do enough to kind of escape with the win.
Well, the way the Rams looked last week, you might see some sharp money on them even if Gurley does play, just because the Rams were not a team that impressed anybody last week.
Or the week before, for that matter, in their loss at Chicago. And speaking of the Bears, we have a Bears team coming off an enormous win, finally beating the Packers, clinching their division, and now they got to lay points on the road against a San Francisco 49ers team that is also coming off an enormous win.
Yes.
And back-to-back weeks where this downtrodden squad has emerged victorious. What are you seeing, Bears and 49ers, at the Golden Nugget?
It's been all Bears so far. We are not getting any Niners money yet. I do think it'll come eventually. Niners were in pretty much the same spot last week, and they ended up doing pretty well, if I remember correctly. So I wouldn't be too afraid to back the Niners here.
Well, the New Orleans Saints picked up another win on Monday, but in bizarre fashion, they did not cover the spread in that football game. I think it can be argued the Saints have not been quite as sharp the last few weeks, but they're on track to be the number one seed in the NFC, and the team that could hopefully knock them off that perch and do themselves a world of good in the process is the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is going to be a heavy volume game.
Oh, no doubt. It's a marquee game of the weekend. Everyone's looking forward to this one. It's going to be great for both betting and for playoff implications. We're getting some solid two-way action early on this one, taking a little more money to the Steelers, but more tickets to the Saints.
What do you think the Smith-Schuster, look, if he can't go, that is a significant blow to the Pittsburgh offense. Now, I don't know what his status is as of now for this game, but, if the perception is that he's not going to play or is going to be limited, that's got to mean Saints money, doesn't it?
Yeah, I do think the more Saints money will come in. Only thing I worry about is people have not seen the Saints looking all that great lately on offense, so they might be a little hesitant to lay some points with them.
Yeah, the good news is Pittsburgh's defense on the road is basically non-existent. And the Steelers are just, look, they're Jekyll and Hyde this year.
Yeah, they've been a very curious team this season.
You talked about Juju Smith-Schuster and his impact on the line. What about James Conner? Does he even move the line even a half point?
I don't think so.
If so, it's just negligible. This rookie they brought in, Samuels, he's looked very good, so I wouldn't be too worried about swapping out James Conner for him.
Yeah, he sure looked good last week against New England. The Sunday night game, and it's a big one. Kansas City all of a sudden needs to win, and Seattle needs to win. Certainly the league likes that, and the networks like that, and I would imagine the sports books like that, because that's going to generate handle. Chiefs and the Seahawks, what are you doing, what are you dealing, and what are you seeing action-wise?
Well, we're at 2.5 right now, and we've had very, very balanced action on this game. It's been good action, but we're getting both sides just about evenly.
Are you seeing any difference in who that money's coming from, whether it's sharp on one side, square on the other, or a mix?
It's been mostly just public money so far. We haven't really taken any sharp wagers on that game.
All right, and on Monday night, look, this could be a really unusual situation. We don't know where the Oakland Raiders are going to play next year. Some thought that they might have to play in Oakland with no place else available. I personally think they're going to finish. I think they're going to play their last season as the Raiders before they move to Las Vegas, someplace other than Oakland, because of this lawsuit that was filed. A lot of bad feeling there. So this could be the last home game ever for the Oakland Raiders. Is that going to impact the market?
I don't know. I think you might see a little bit of people who just come in and want to play the sentimental angle. I think maybe they'll be extra fired up for the game, but I'm not a huge fan of playing angles like that myself.
However, what about the angle? This could be the last game ever. In fact, it almost certainly, if the Raiders are an iffy proposition to be in Oakland next year, the Coach Joseph is a more definite proposition to not be coaching the Denver Broncos. So his last game ever as the coach of the Broncos, I don't know, do the guys go out there and play real hard for him? I don't anticipate that he's going to get that emotional boost that you want to see from a team that knows it's playing a game to save their coach's job. I think they know this coach is done.
Yeah, one question here as well is Denver's not going to get that playoff spot, it looks like. They've got too much work to do, so I'm not sure just how fired up they'll be for this one.
I think this is a game where I am ignoring my number because my numbers say Denver, but there's no way I want the Broncos here.
And that's a Christmas Eve game. When you factor that into the handicap, what's the factor? I tend to like road teams because they come together. The home team's the one that have the distractions when it comes to Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. But on the other hand,
you want the Broncos, though. Oh,
yeah, I don't know that I want the Broncos.
That is a tough. If you're playing on the Golden Nugget app, it's really tough to do the check mark on Denver at this point and then hit enter.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an issue with those guys.
All right.
Denver or Oakland are two teams I don't really want to be on at the moment.
No, it's a Monday night game that might be best served up as a pass.
Yeah, I mean, do you end up getting less handle, like significantly less handle when it's a non? I mean, it's a marquee matchup, but the two teams
And it's
aren't
Christmas
looking
Eve.
good, and it's Christmas Eve. I mean, compared to a normal Monday night game, what do you think you'll get the handle wise on this one?
It'll definitely be a little bit lower. Not as many people are going to be tuned in, but that's okay.
We know there's going to be incredible entertainment downtown next weekend because it'll be New Year's Eve weekend. What's happening at the Nugget this weekend?
Tonight we got the Grassroots for 52 Fridays, and then next week we have Vince Neil for our final 52 Fridays of the year.
All right. Good stuff, Aaron. Sure appreciate it, bud.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Aaron Kessler does a great job along with Tony Miller at the Golden Nugget. And again, go to the Golden Nugget website. Check out go to the sports. Just search Golden Nugget Sportsbook is the easiest thing. If you want to follow the plays of the leaders, they'll be in by 10 tonight. They'll be posted tomorrow morning. And, if you want to know what the leaders are doing and maybe follow their picks, maybe tail their picks. I mean, it's not like these guys have been struggling. Just do so by checking out the website. All the picks for all the contestants are listed. We'll come back. We'll get to our Joe's Angle of the Day, and then it's time for Kelly Stewart.
The Las Vegas Sports Line.
The Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino is your spot for Sunday football. ESPN Las Vegas is on the scene from 8 to 10 a.m. inside the Superbook to start your Sunday off right. Free parking, food starts at $3, $25 buckets, and great prizes. It's Football Central each Sunday at the Westgate.
All my friends need a little money.
This is Chuck, and I founded Dollar Loan Center over 20 years ago right here in Nevada. Happy holidays. One of my favorite things to talk about is how the loans really work at Dollar Loan Center. When someone comes to you to borrow a couple $100, and they do, what do you think a fair fee would be? $20, $30, $50? Most people say about $25. You know what we charge each day in interest for a $200 loan? $1.10. Really, for a week, only $7.70. And no other fees. Listen, banks stopped doing small dollar loans years ago. Just try to go to a bank and borrow $200. And when they say no, give us a call or find one of our 50 locations at don'tbebroke.com.
Get a little cash, get a little cash, down at the deal.
Licensed by the Nevada Financial Institutions Division. Payment amounts based on biweekly pay frequency with annual percentage rate of 199.99%. Certain limitations may apply. Loans are subject to approval.
Message and data rates may apply.
Earning a graduate business degree online from the W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University isn't easy, but that's the point. Great change requires hard work, persistence, and dedication. So if you're ready to commit the time and effort, it will be worth it. Learn for yourself why the MBA, Information Management, and Business Analytics Master's degrees from ASU are some of the most highly ranked and selective online business programs in the country. Text RETURN to 79645.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I had cancer. I have fibromyalgia. I have nerve damage and fatigue. I have thalassemia. I'm hypoglycemic. So my life since cancer, I've had to learn how to live with it. But starting Balance of Nature, I felt it the first month. I felt different. It made such a difference that now I wake up, my head feels clearer, I have more energy. Very rarely does my body cramp up anymore. It's the best thing. It's just amazing. I don't know what to say. I just would not be what I am today if I didn't start Balance of Nature.
For a limited time, use discount code DEAL, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code DEAL.
MJ Christensen at Boca Park. More than just a store that sells jewelry, Cliff Miller.
Oh, absolutely. We're your one-stop shop. Whatever it is in jewelry that you need, whether it's a repair, appraisal, we've got 4 certified gemologist appraisers on site, so we do most of the appraisals in Las Vegas.
Take your dated heirloom and create something new. MJ Christensen, something for everyone this holiday season. Located at Boca Park. Follow us on Facebook for exclusive offers.
Get your Vegas Golden Knights Collector's Cups only at Terrible Herbst. Cup number 1 available now, featuring number 5, Derek England. Come in and grab yours now before they're gone for good. Only at Terrible Herbst.
Ho, ho, ho. Hey there. I see you've been a little naughty at the holiday parties this year. Your nose is as red as Rudolph's. And your DUI